So, what is visionary leadership anyways? Hallinger and Heck note the principles need to be guided by an educational philosophy leading to the establishment of goals based on perceived needs within the school community. These goals impact the principal's influence on student achievements. Fullen noted that leaders need the ability to develop a shared moral purpose and meaning as well as a pathway for attaining that purpose. On the other hand, Venice noted that leaders find a way to create a message that gets transformed into a vision or dream that they first believe themselves and then through their point of view share it with others. In that way, the leader lives the dream. What does all this jargon mean? Dufour and Eaker put it pretty plainly. A vision statement answers the questions, what do we hope to become? So, why is vision so crucial? Kirkpatrick said, research on visionary leadership has focused on establishing the relationship between the vision and outcomes such as organizational performance, and follower attitudes. At least 35 studies have supported the theoretical relationships between leader behavior and follower outcomes. There is strong evidence that a relationship exists between the general set of visionary leadership behaviors and follower and organizational outcomes.
In his 2017 paper, Monberquet articulated common traits amongst principals in schools that were performing above what was expected and in schools that were performing below what was expected. Through his research, he supported the claim that school vision influences student learning gains. In schools that were performing higher than expected, Monberquet found that principals could clearly articulate their vision regarding what it means to be an educator and how best to achieve maximum learning in students. Importantly, they were able to share the vision in a way that all stakeholders could feel a part of. In addition to this, these principals made use of data to support their various teams' decisions about student learning. In schools that were performing lower than expected, Monberquet found the opposite. Principals in these schools had difficulty articulating their school visions and resorted to generalities rather than specifics. Data was almost a dirty word in these schools, and there was often a lack of trust between principal and teachers.
The Alberta Leadership Quality Standard Competency 3, Embodying Visionary Leadership, directs school leaders to implement a shared vision for student success, engagement, learning, and well-being.
Through her work, Robinson demonstrated to leaders the importance of keeping student learning at the core of their planning and priorities. She said, student-centered leadership sets clear goals for student learning, provides resources for those goals, and works closely with the teachers to plan, coordinate, and monitor how they are achieved. She highlighted the powers of leaders getting closer to their classroom. The more leader focuses their relationships, their work, and their learning on the core business of teaching and learning, the greater their influence on student outcomes. We are in the business of teaching students, after all.
Kruger parallels this fundamental teacher competency, describing how the effective school leader must be aware of all factors that play a role in the organization and culture of schools. In Kruger's description of the Big Five, a major emphasis is placed on the need for school leaders to take a school's context into account, consider any consequences, and translate them into school situations which optimize student learning and achievement. This indicator is further emphasized by Bush's contingent leadership model, which emphasizes a leader's ability to respond to unique organizations and adapt their leadership in response to the diverse context of a community.
Fullen supports the notion that leaders should collaborate with various stakeholders, both at the district level and everyone in their own buildings. To find coherence, leaders need the ability to develop a shared moral purpose and meaning, as well as a pathway for attaining that purpose. To do this, he emphasized the use of the right drivers, setting a small number of ambitious goals directly related to student achievement, fostering collaborative cultures focused on instructional improvement within and across schools, as well as between schools and the larger system, improving teaching and learning at all levels of the system by using a capacity-building approach, and using transparent and non-punitive accountability approaches. Fullen's work emphasized that building strong collaborative cultures throughout school systems sets the stage for student learning and growth.
Brick and Schneider suggested that when leaders prioritize trust within their learning communities, they can advance their vision for their school. They said recent research shows that social trust among teachers, parents, and school leaders improves much of the routine work of schools and is a key resource for reform. Principals establish both respect and personal regard when they acknowledge the vulnerabilities of others, actively listen to their concerns, and eschew arbitrary actions. Effective principals couple these behaviors with a compelling school vision and behavior that clearly seeks to advance the vision.
Kirkpatrick emphasized that visionary leaders engage in unconventional behavior that may make sacrifices. Risk-taking behavior serves to promote change and innovation and to challenge existing assumptions. They are effective at gathering, processing, and distributing information to their organizations so that appropriate responses can be carried out. They are said to create organizational conditions that allow followers to pursue the vision.
Elmore stated that in order for educators to improve student learning, they need to learn to do new things. To accomplish this, they have to gain access to the knowledge through collection of data. Then they need to assimilate that knowledge into their practice. Elmore cautions that often, when practitioners get good results, they simply repeat exactly what produced those good results, when they would be better off to question how the performance occurred and what is needed to change it. Asking these questions should lead practitioners to understand why the results happened and then to examine their practice, collect data, and come up with a plan for growth.
But how does this apply to managing operations and resources?
In his 2002 article, The Courage to Lead, Glickman showed a way that a leader can build a lasting vision that goes beyond the charisma of any one person or the influence of a group. In his model, 3 elements are necessary: a covenant of beliefs that motivates staff members when they feel stuck, a governance structure that gives a routine procedure for solving difficult problems, and an action research process that gives teachers a variety of ideas from other schools to pull from when deciding upon a plan of action. A school leader should carefully examine their school authority's vision, goals, and priorities and use that and community in order to create their covenant of beliefs. It is important that teachers understand and see themselves in the vision so that they can cling to it when making difficult decisions. Once that is in place, the principal can support the vision with structure and data to promote stability and growth.
During the first year of a new leader's posting in a rural school, staff and students were engaged in a month-long vision casting process to set the tone and the vision for the school moving forward. The leader facilitated the vision casting by having staff and students look inward and determine what 3 words, or pillars, described what was already going on in the building, rather than trying to set sights on new targets. The role of leader as facilitator and the process of including multiple stakeholders in the development of the school's vision demonstrated the leader's care for fostering effective relationships. The inclusion of staff members and in the development of the school's vision has since demonstrated a way in which the vision is able to be lived out daily in the classrooms. When teachers plan for instruction, it lands on the pillars and visions created by all stakeholders rather than solely that of the leader. Leadership is the second most important, after teaching quality, in-school influence on student outcomes. Having a strong vision that is valued by key members of the staff helps to support a rich learning environment.